a dollar amount on the values that a man needs to show you that he values you, ladies. You cannot put a dollar amount on the values that a man needs to show you that he values you. I'm gonna break that down for the next 10 minutes. This is your boy, Pastor Vernel Samuel, pastor, father, husband, friend, life insurance strategist, helping you to learn how to protect what matters most, relationships, your health, and ultimately your legacy. And I'm sharing this thought because I was looking at a podcast clip this morning from I think her name is Miss Sarah Fontenot. She has a podcast called It's Giving Podcast, and I really like her perspectives a lot. And she had a sit down with the comedian Tony Baker, and they were talking about the same old stuff. Would you date a man who makes a certain amount of money? Basically, $70,000 was the number that they used. And so um, Tony was like, "Well, I know your answer already." Your answer is no. And she was just like, "Well, why is that a problem? Or like, why is that when women talk, they want to date a man who's making a certain amount of money? Why is that such an issue?" And they began to go back and forth to talk about the reasons. Tony mentioned something that he said. Now, what if you met a man who had all the qualities that you say you want in a man, right? But he's capped at that 70K right now financially. And she began to say, well, does he intend to stay at 70,000? Does he want to grow into more than that? Because if, if he has the potential to go to more, then I'll be with him and all these things. But then he also hit her with, well, what if he's a school teacher and this is his life's mission? You know that this is what he's passionate about. This is the thing that he is committed to and wanting to do for the rest of his life. And as a school teacher, you can only go but so high financially. So you'll never make that seven-figure mark as a teacher. You know, some states he could possibly get to the six-figure mark, but the truth is he probably won't ever get there. Would you still stay with this man if he's only going to make $70,000 for the rest of his life? Although he has all of the values, the qualities, the characteristics that you want. And after she ran through all of the little verbal, her little word salad, wordplay, and talk about being equally yoked, and all this other stuff, because quite frankly, being equally yoked has nothing to do with making the same amount of money. That was not what God intended when he said to not be unequally yoked. All right. So how y'all doing? I see you guys. Thank you for joining me on live. But I want to hear from you guys too. If I say anything and you will have a question, feel free to post it in the chat, because I will answer the questions maybe in this video or in another video. But I brought all of that up to say this, and I'm speaking to both men and women right now. I know it's early, but I just wanted to catch this while I was driving. Men lust differently than women. Women lust differently than men. Men lust after a woman for her beauty. Men will lust after a woman because he is physically attracted to her physique. He is physically attracted to her eyes, her skin, her frame. A man will lust after a woman solely for that. A man is not gonna lust after a woman and ask her, well, how much money you make? A man is not gonna lust after a woman and ask, uh, well, how much money you got in the bank account? Where do you work? What car do you drive? None of that matters to a woman. I mean, none of that matters to a man if he physically is attracted to a woman. He just lusts after her. But when a woman lusts after a woman just doesn't lust after a man or wouldn't lust after a man because of his physical physique. Very rarely. A woman will lust after not the physicality of a man, but she will lust after more of the potential of what she thinks that man is going to bring into her life. Now, I might be wrong, but ladies, listen to this. Check this out. Like you would see a man, although he is not physically as good looking as other men you saw, but the perception is if you've seen him either driving a $500,000 car, a Ferrari, a Porsche, Bentley, whatever, a woman will lust after that man, not just because of him, but because of the car he's driving and the perception of what that man can possibly bring into her life, the lifestyle that he can possibly produce for her. Oh, he got money. She will lust after the status that man might have. She might lust after the position, and and a woman will begin to lust after all of the different experiences that she believes that that man can create in her life. And this is why a man doesn't have to be good looking to have women chasing after him. This is very important. Most men or most women are not conscious of this. So I want to name this and I want to bring this out. So now watch this. So when a woman says, I don't want to marry a man who does not make less than six figures or doesn't make less than 300K or 500K, because you hear a lot about that today on the internet. You hear a lot about this on social media. A woman believes that if a man is making a certain amount of money, he is going to treat her at a certain luxury that she desires. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, wanting that. But let me ask you a question. What is it? Do you so what is it that you ultimately value? Do you ultimately value the lifestyle that this man can bring into your life, or do you actually value the man? Because the number doesn't make the man makes the number. I'm gonna say that again. The number doesn't make the man makes the number. And this is why I opened up this video by statement that I made. You cannot put a dollar amount on the values that a man will show you that he values you with. There's no dollar amount to measure integrity. There's no dollar amount to measure faithfulness and fidelity and vision. And if a man has those qualities and characteristics, those three, four characteristics that I named are just four of the characteristics that a man needs to be a good husband. A man who makes seven figures does not mean that he'll make a good husband. Hello. How many millionaires and billionaires do you know have been divorced? If a certain amount of money means he'll make a good husband, Elon Musk will be the best husband in the world. Jeff Bezos will be the greatest husband in the world. But guess what? He was divorced. Elon Musk, I think, I don't know how many wives he had, women he had, right? So the dollar amount, the number does not make the man makes the number. And if you believe that by marrying a man who makes a certain amount of money will mean that he is the one for you and the one to marry you, ladies, you are sadly and gravely mistaken. And I'm saying this because I love you and I want you to make a sound, wise decision and to stop buying into these social media narratives that causes you or lies to you to make you believe that just because a man makes a certain amount of money, if he doesn't make enough money, he won't be a good husband or a good provider, because that's a lie. A man can be a good provider even if he makes 70K, 80K, 60K, 50K. A man can be a great provider. Now, if you want a man that's going to give you a certain lifestyle that is beyond your current means, you have two options. You can either marry a man who is at the same level as you and you guys build a life together in which you can create that lifestyle together. Someone might say, well, we don't make enough right now, but guess what? You know what? One day we want to be able to travel first class. We want to be able to take our kids to not just Disney World, maybe Disney World. We can't even get to Disney World yet. Maybe we want to go to Mexico together, go to Paris together, and we work together to create the life we want. That's one way to build. That's the ideal way to build. That's the biblical way to build. We build together. That's being equally yoked, not marrying somebody or wanting to marry somebody who makes more money than you, because in your mind, I want this type of person, and because if he's not aligned with that, then he's not the one for me. That's you're living in la la land. That's not reality. That's delusional. So if you go to second option of wanting to marry a man who is already making seven figures, six figures, then you can possibly do that. But here's another angle I want you to look at. I know several women who married men who were making, who had a lot of money. But guess what? Just because a man has a lot of money doesn't mean he's going to spend a lot of money on you. You might say, well, I'm his wife. He's supposed to that man will spend his money however he wants to spend it. And the truth is, most men that have a lot of money saved or have worked hard for that money don't want to part ways with their money. I know a lot of very wealthy men who are very cheap men. So you might say, oh, he got seven figures, he got six figures, I'm going to be with him. But guess what? Who's to say that that man wants to spend his money on you or spend his money the way you want him to spend it? I know one person, she married this man, houses, money stacked up, doing very well. They didn't last for more than 2 years, probably maybe a year, because this man was so cheap. Now, I don't agree with how cheap he was, because he was dirt cheap. He was dirt cheap. This man would not spend his money on anything but the bare basics, okay? So, he didn't want to lavish his wife at all. He take her out to dinner. Like, why are we going out to dinner? You cook. Don't want to go out to take her out. Don't want to treat her to get her nails done one day, treat her to buy her a gift. This guy did not want to spend anything. But in his mind, he was like, I'm saving my money and I'm going to leave it behind for my kids. That was all he cared about, his kids. And that was all he wanted to use his money for. But guess what? That's his that was his prerogative. That was his preference. That's what he decided to do with his money. So my whole point in saying all of this, and I want you to share this with anyone who you know. This conversation is always popular, and I don't know if this will ever go viral or anyone will share this, but at least someone who's watching this, just hear with me, especially you young. If you're in your 30s and approaching 40, and you're in your 40s and you're still wondering why you're not married, and you are saying to yourself, I want a man who is going to give me a certain lifestyle and make a certain amount of money. That is a faulty foundation to drive your dating and courting decisions. Okay? Very poor. It's a very bad idea. I can put money on it. You'll never find the right man thinking that way. Because also for the man who has money, it sounds like you're a gold digger. It sounds like you're somebody that's just after him for his money. And if you're honest, that's why you're after him. Because if that same person who you're saying says he has to make 7 figures, he has to make 6 figures, God forbid anything was to happen to him where he cannot earn what he used to earn, cannot bring in what he used to bring in, you will not stay with him because you're only with him because of the amount of money that he's making. So he's not wrong to feel like he's not wrong to feel like he's being like you're looking at him through the eyes of or the lens of a gold digger. You want the gold. You won't want the gold in him. You want the gold in his bank account. You want the gold in his wallet. You want the gold in his pockets. You don't want him. You want his money, and you want the lifestyle that he is going to bring into your life, or you think he's going to bring into your life. That's the lust that women have. The lust for perceived status, perceived experiences, and it is just as dangerous as we lust after a woman's physical beauty. Because the Bible says that beauty fades, but a woman who fears the Lord should be praised, right? So the Bible teaches us men that to not just look after a woman's physical attractive beauty, because that's going to fade away at some point. You have to look beyond just the physical, not look beyond the physical at all. You got to be attracted to the person, but understand that the physical beauty can wear off and it's not the only thing that matters. And I'll say this, woman, just as a man does not need to just lust after your physical beauty, you cannot just lust after his perceived value based on how much money he makes. You have to see beyond just the money, and you have to see the man. You have to see the man. You have to know his heart. You have to you his character. You have to know his values. You have to know the very thing and the morals that are going to raise your kids. You have to see that side of him to know, because a man who fears the Lord should be praised. Money, a man and his money will soon be parted. A man and his money will soon be parted. A man will not have everything he had, when you first met him. But a man that fears the Lord should also be praised. Look for the qualities that matter, the values that don't have a dollar amount. And if you value that, you will find a man that is valuable, and you'll find a man that will be worth more to you than a man who's making 6 or 7 figures without a fear of the Lord, without the values and the qualities that matter. So that's my rant today. I hope this blessed you. I hope this spoke to you, resonated with you. And I want to hear your thoughts. If you want to share in the chats, let me know in the comment section what you thought about what I said. But ultimately, we got to do better. We got to have higher standards, higher ideals. We cannot let the trending thoughts of the day eat away from what we know to be solid and true. Our grandparents did not think this way, and they had marriages that lasted their entire life, 40 plus years, 50 plus years, 60 plus years of being married. And it wasn't about how much money we made. Let's get to those traditional ideals that built strong, healthy communities and cities where families did not and quit and divorce the minute there was discomfort and uneasiness in our relationships. We gotta learn to live by principles again, not by feelings. We gotta learn how to have standards that we stand on again. And that's how we build healthy homes, healthy families, healthy marriages. That's what I'm committed to teaching on this page. So make sure you push the subscribe button if you're not following me yet. And I want to be able to help you learn how to bring heaven to your love life. I want to teach you how to find a match made in heaven. If you're single, you're dating, I want to help you learn how to navigate this dating pool today. And I want you to learn how to find the one that God has for you. So make sure you push the subscribe button. Show me some love, like this, share this. And I hope to see you in my next video. All right. God bless you. Have a phenomenal day.